My mom was a librarian, and she started reading Harry Potter to me when I was 4.
When I was younger, books were my whole personality. I was the girl who reads.
I literally had to force myself to read. Like, I wouldn't let myself use the restroom unless I finished the end of the page.
Sometimes I'd just grab a thick book and move my eyes along the page as if I was reading.
I used to get in trouble at school for reading books under the desk when I was supposed to be paying attention.
You know what books I would read at the Scholastic Book Fair? The ones on the bottom shelf. See, at the top was where all the popular ones were, but the bottom was where all the odd, obscure books were, so that's where I thrived.
Some of you are big readers, some of you don't read at all. Anyone in between? I enjoy a book every once in a while.
My favorite book of all time is Aragon from the Inheritance Cycle. Currently rereading those right now.
As soon as I got a laptop, I never read another book the rest of my life.
Mrs. Lund, I don't see Nintendo Power Magazine on our reading list.
I was a book purist and I hated audiobooks, so whenever my family would put them on during a road trip, I would put in my headphones and then I would read the book version of the same book, and then I would finish it before all of them did, and then I would spoil the ending for them.
Do you know how weird it is to tell people that your favorite scent is book pages?
I won medals for reading, which is by far the dorkiest sentence I've ever had to say.
Hey girl, great to see you! How's it going?
Pretty good. I just finished the last Castles of Eldergrunge book.
Castles of... I'm not familiar.
Castles of Eldergrunge? By legendary author I Am Transphobe. The fantasy series, the one with the young heroine?
No. The flaming glaciers of hidden death may be treacherous, but it's nothing a 12-year-old isn't single-handedly equipped to face.
Doesn't ring a bell.
You must know her powerful adversary.
Freedom? That's what they want? Those fools wouldn't know freedom if it hit them in the face and said, "Get back to your cage."
Nope. Hey, sounds like you're going through withdrawal.
I mean, I'm a fan, but some people are really going to be going crazy now that it's over. That's it? There's gotta be more. I think I skipped a chunk. Epilogue, acknowledgement. It's really the world building for me. I wish my own world was built that good. Knock down the flimsy walls of my existence in a mere 2 chapters. But it's okay because I actually started writing my own fantasy series. Hi, my name is Carla, and I am going to write about Great Start.
Okay, so you're pretty into this. Do you have a favorite character?
I mean, yeah, but they were killed in the Battle of Givenchy. I knew it was coming. I'll tell you why. Because you're selfless and beautiful, and the best man I've ever known.
Hey, honey, are you okay?
Oh, we're part of I Need the Room. Do you not understand?
Hey, does David read it too? Oh, and didn't you two just have your anniversary?
Yes, that's right. 3 years of romantic bliss. And he doesn't read it, but I've really learned to make peace with the fact that some of our interests just don't overlap. Well, I definitely think I'm an Eldergrunge because I'm like a really honest person. What about you, babe?
Don't want to play this game with you.
Why not?
Because you badger me into it when I don't read the series, and it doesn't mean anything to me. You persist and you wear me down. You did it in therapy with the new therapist who's now on your side. You did it with my parents. I just want a portion of my life that doesn't cater to your fictional fantasies.
Classic Spindlecraft.
Okay, well, what about movies? Seen anything good lately?
Yes, the movie version of those books. It's true what they say. The books are always better. You've lived in my head for so long, and now you've been brought to life. Be free, my friends. Make your magic. Except you. I don't know why HBO made you straight and played by The Rock.
Well, sounds good.
You're right. Let's change the topic already. What's on your mind these days?
Oh, well. All I want is to be approved to waltz with the handsome Duke. Then maybe we take an intimate stroll down a winding path before he ends up down my winding path. Oh, I do hope the local gossip columnist doesn't see. Or on second thought, let her watch. I want to be free of this corseted repression already.
The Bridgerton series?
Yes.
We're clearly in different book phases, but I'll get there.
Everything I've ever read led me to believe growing up was going to be full of adventure, magical experience. Turns out high school had a surprising lack of swords, disguised as a pen or otherwise. I mean, I've read every word Rick Riordan has written, and I saw myself so clearly in those characters. It was like they were meant for me. Percy had dyslexia and ADHD. I have dyslexia and ADHD. It was just Percy and his mom. It was just me and my mom. Percy had adventures. Well, then it stood to reason I was going to have them too. Right? I mean, I spent years of my life preparing to be the main character, a child of a god. But every ocean wave I tried to control just knocked me down. Every person in a wheelchair I thought was a centaur in disguise just ended up being someone that needed a wheelchair. I've never even destroyed a toilet, and not once as a teacher tried to kill me. I tried to learn Greek on Duolingo because they don't have an option for learning how to speak to horses. But it's like really hard. And the app won't stop sending me vaguely threatening notifications. I went to the Empire State Building and asked to be taken to the 600th floor so I could find my dad myself. And they laughed me off the elevator. Percy had problems with dodgeball and cheerleaders because of monster attacks. But mine were more the picked last to play and mocked mercilessly variety, which are admittedly lamer. Percy Jackson was my hero as a kid, and I had a great time with that series. But don't read it and get your hopes up.
Hey, new girl. You want to talk to us?
Sure, but my name isn't New Girl. It's Caddy Woodlawn.
Whatever. This is Sarah Crew.
I used to be the richest girl in school.
But you're not anymore. Are you, little princess? Anyway, we're going to do you a favor and teach you all about the ins and outs of the groups here at Historical Fiction High School.
See that really short girl over there with the pink hair ribbons? She's just past the table where the Swiss family usually sits.
But they've been absent for like forever. See her?
Yeah.
That's Laura Ingalls. She's president of the FFA because her daddy, her pa runs a farm.
Don't be fooled by her little country girl act. She is the scariest bitch here. Almost put Nellie Olson in a coma last fall. And then that's her sister Mary, the pretty one.
Oh yeah, Mary Ingalls. I met her in my science class. Is she
blind? Oh yeah. She's been doing the whole I can't see thing for a few years now, but I swear I saw her checking herself out in the bathroom the other day.
That's awful.
Don't feel too bad. Their mom is insanely racist towards indigenous people.
There's this girl, Omakayas, who's a Ojibwe, and they're super mean to like just her.
They call her Toad Girl because her name means little frog.
Plus, their pa is always hanging around this guy, Mr. Edwards, and he gives me creepy uncle vibes. Honestly, all of Laura's friends are like adult men, which is, you know, sketch.
All right, class, pass these back to your peers, and remember, no talking.
That's Miss Woodbury, known for her long lectures and even longer homework assignments. Hi, I'm Ethan. In the back, as usual. I always choose the back seat because it feels like I do. Invisible.
You guys, shut up.
And of course, Haley Anderson, the girl of my dreams. I've been in love with her since the 3rd grade, back before I even knew anything about girls, much less someone like...
Ethan? Who the hell are you talking to?
A teenage demographic?
I recently realized that every single comic book character I have ever loved looks exactly like me. For example, my freshman year of high school, I had these massive long blonde locks of hair, and my first crush was Sailor Moon. This is the book that turns you gay. Your sexual awakening is a compromise of your values of feminism and how girls are badass, but mostly because of 10 hot lady superheroes running around in short skirts. And then, high school went to shit! Everyone hated me because I was this angry little girl who asked way too many questions, I had no friends, I would eat lunch with my 45-year-old band director, but regardless, yes, I did cut and dye my hair pink. Yes, I do have green eyes. Yes, I did have crippling anger issues at age 16, which means that I was in love with none other than Miss Haruna Sakura of the Naruto series. And then, high school for me ended on a random Friday in March 2020, which led me to believe that nothing is real, so I cut off all my hair, got back into some Marvel comic books, and now I'm in love with the #1 self-insert character, Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. I should not have to explain to you why he is hot, but he is genuinely everything I want to be. Quirky, a superhero, fucking cool, which is why I currently look like a little white boy with brown hair and glasses.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now call to order the case of the Pequot School Board versus Benjamin Krupp.
Mr. Krupp, do you deny hiring a Mr. Pippy P. Poopy Pants?
I do not.
So you take full responsibility for the events that occurred on the night of September 17th between you and Mr. Poopy Pants?
I was not involved in those events.
We have several pictures of you downtown wearing a red cape and tidy whities. Can you indeed confirm that this is you in these pictures?
I believe that is Captain Underpants.
Sir, the lower courts have already determined that you are Captain Underpants. Captain Underpants is you. It's like the transitive property.
There's no way that's me. I can't remember. I have no memory of any such events. I'm a principal.
Speaking of your school, we have received private affidavits from 2 of your students attesting to first-hand counts of you as Captain Underpants.
Every single time something happens with Captain Underpants, George and Harold are nearby.
Are you implicating the children? Mr. Krupp, please don't go there.
Those 2 kids have been causing trouble in my school for years. Ever since they got together, it's like nothing I'd ever seen.
Mr. Krupp, stop.
No. Every time I black out, I remember a snap. And every time I wake up, I'm all wet. And every time George and Harold are nearby.
Mr. Krupp! That's got to Mr. Krupp!
Tra-la-la! Oh my God.
I rest my case.
You're right. I am
guilty.
A superhero!
I'm sorry, Maddie. What the fuck did you just ask me? Did you just ask me what Harry Potter is? Might as well drop out now if you don't know what Harry Potter is. We are 12 years old. And you don't know what Harry Potter... Hold up. I gotta take a sip of my fucking apple juice. I'm so distraught. Now back to the question. Harry Potter is literally necessary to survive. If I didn't know who won the House Cup the year of the Triwizard Tournament, I couldn't live with myself. And do you know why, Maddie? Because they were both Cancel. You didn't read Harry Potter. You are so pathetic. Stop crying, Maddie. You had so much potential. And now you're a 12-year-old failure. Seriously, Maddie, don't bother coming to my birthday party on Saturday. It's Harry Potter themed, and I don't want you to embarrass yourself with your stupidity. We are all going to be Gryffindor, of course. So I would have to put you in Slytherin, like the snake you are. No, you would have to be Professor Umbridge. Oh, wait. What was that? You don't like books about magic? Did I fucking ask?
Girls, Maddie's mother is here.
Okay, Mommy, be right there.
A book that everyone else read in school that I did not read was Divergent.
Harry Potter.
The Twilight series.
It would have to be Twilight.
Ugh, Twilight.
I want to say Twilight, but everybody else, I feel like everybody else is going to say that.
Twilight isn't a YA book, but at least it's fully porn.
You want to play Two Truths and a Lie? Great, I'll go first. My favorite color is blue. I love cats. And my sister Annie got stuck in the year 1889 after we drowned baby Hitler in a lake. No, I hate cats. Have you ever heard of Hitler? Exactly. Trust me, you hated him. Yeah, I had a pretty rough childhood. Therapist calls it trauma. I just call it life. Speaking of trauma, did you ever have a treehouse growing up? I had a treehouse. Doesn't work anymore. Hasn't worked right for like 14 years. Yeah, every time I try it, it takes me back to the same place, 1930s Oklahoma, right in the middle of the Dust Bowl. Yeah. I hope Annie's still doing fine. I bet she's off somewhere trying to stop the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Do you know who that is? Maybe she's still working on it. But who am I, you know? I'm Jack, the badass who killed Hitler at 8 years old, but what does the world see me as? The sad, emo 22-year-old who reads an atlas or an encyclopedia in a library, flipping through the pages, watching them change? Who cares what I think, right? I couldn't even save this conversation, much less my sister. I couldn't even save my sister, much less this conversation. Yeah, anyway, sorry, that's a lot about me. Your turn. 2 truths, 1 lie, no bullshit.
Separate checks, please.
So right over there are the racist geeks led by Tom Sawyer, and then next to them are the racists that fuck led by Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, that's his real name. And next to them is Anne Shirley's group. I'm sure you must have met Anne, or at least heard her down the hall.
Yeah, she got into it with this boy Gilbert in English class today. She seems kind of intense.
Don't even get me started. Anne Shirley is the weirdest girl here. Do not trust her. She'll have you over to her house for a tea party and then send you home blasted on currant wine.
Plus, she's friends with her own reflection.
Seriously?
Yep. Calls it Katie and talks to her when she's lonely.
Weird.
And you didn't hear it from me. But her mom and dad are siblings.
Bullshit.
Well, okay, they're her adoptive parents, but still it's weird. And then that is her bosom friend, Diana.
Oh, are they dating?
No, that's the weird part. Anna's always waxing poetic about how she and Diana are kindred spirits.
Or they're twin souls.
And they're destined to be together forever, but they insist that they're straight.
Huh. I don't even know. Plus her red hair is really fucking ugly.
I am transgender, which means that in media, I am a sex worker, dead, or not in it. Not so fun for me. As a result, I have never really read or seen a trans character I've related to because of that. I am not a meatpacking district hooker, and I'm pretty alive. I think it's true. Trans representation needs to change from tropes to hardship after hardship to things trans people always do all the time. For example, why isn't there a book with a trans character who gets up each morning and purchases a Frappuccino, then drinks it really fast so they get really cold, then turns their heater on so they get all warmed up while being all cold. We need a book with a trans character who really, really enjoys making lists of perhaps the best film performances of Holly Hunter. Number one is The Piano, but broadcast news isn't far behind. We need to rally the troops for a trans character whose party trick is doing the sign language alphabet but cannot sign any actual words. Trans representation should be essential to modern literature because I need people to know that I am not a tragedy who teaches you an important lesson. I'm a person who makes a point to introduce two people who I know have already met because I think it's a good bet.
Everything you've ever seen in a fairy tale is not as happy-go-lucky as it seems. It's dark. Very dark. And it's because of those damn royals. You see that there's one in every pocket of the country, just waddling around, pretending that everything's A-okay, while they trash up our environment. You know, I love my hovel under the bridge, but you know what I don't love? Princess bitches. Oh, seriously. Turn over one rock and you find 4 glass slippers, but it is fine. It is fine. Remember, 'tis the feast we have to look forward to. What was that little quote? Have faith, trust, and a little pixie dust seasoning. Oh, don't even get me started on the species extermination here. You know. Guess what this is? A walking cane from one of the 3 blind mice after he stumbled into the wrong alley and the King's Guard shot him 8 times. Even the gnomes are disappearing because they keep magicking them into ceramic lawn decorations. But don't worry. It's why we started stealing from them. It makes them so mad. And all they gotta do to get him back is guess my name. And you would think Rumpelstiltskin would be so easy. But every time they're like, Dave, Andrew, do I look? Ring-a-ling-ling, ring-a-ling-ling. Dinner is calling. What? You don't think it's right we're stealing their offspring? Well, that's a fucking shame, pal, because you're gonna miss out on the best dinner of your life. 5 out of 5 stars, beyond your wildest dreams. Oh, you know, maybe I ought to remind you why we have the feast. Maybe I ought to show you why we take from them, what we need from them. You gotta prepare it. Like a fine ramen or a shake and bake, you know? First, you take the baby. Then you twist it, pull it, and then you just bop it. Oh, you gotta saute it in a nice golden syrup and then batter that boy up in some dragon scale crumbs and then fry him up at 5,000 trillion degrees. And then, ding, 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 he's ready. Yummy. Taste like chicken.
If I stay, all the boys I've loved before will call me by your name.
Around the 4th or 5th Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, I started realizing they weren't getting any better, but I still bought them all. I was a victim of guerrilla child marketing, and this is my story.
The books I love that hit the box office are Shit Out and Spitshine, The Inheritance series ruined, Percy Jackson ruined, The Lorax ruined, Harry Potter I actually enjoyed in film, but I only read the first 3 books and halfway through the 4th.
There is nothing wrong with the Lorax movie, but the fans did take my favorite character, the Onceler, and sexualize him.
I used to be just like any other 12-year-old girl obsessed with death, dying, and the macabre. But get caught performing an autopsy on a bird at the playground one time and your whole life changes. Piatt County is relatively quiet. There's only really the need for one coroner, and well, that's me. Brian! Bullet to the head.
Do you feel like the squirrels in town are gaining weight? They just seem so jolly.
Okay, Brian. So, yeah, it's basically me and these dead bodies against the world here. It's a blessing and a curse, really. I mean, I don't know any other 12-year-olds who are 3 years deep into their career already, but people forget that I'm still just a kid. Yes, I can perform an autopsy in my sleep, but when it comes to pre-algebra, I'm absolutely clueless. Brian!
I've noticed that the ranch you get in restaurants is like a little different than the kind you get in the store.
Blunt force trauma, rat poison, candlestick in the dining room. And I've never even had a boyfriend, and I'm really scared that no one's gonna ask me to the dance, and I really, really think that Jessica doesn't like me anymore because I overheard her telling Bethany, who told Clarissa, who told me that I'm not all that like I think I am. And I feel like I'm practicing my clarinet every second there's not a body in front of me, but I'm not getting any better. And between you and me, I haven't even gotten my period yet. Bethany?
Okay, so that old guy out there just asked me if I think Emma Stone has the it factor.
I used to just think she was but I saw Easy A, and she's a blonde sometimes, but she's a redhead in that.
Who cares? Do you know what a camel toe is?
Yes, of course. Continue?
Good. Anyway, Ryan Byers, you know, from school, he's missing. He wasn't at lacrosse practice, and you know he would never miss lacrosse.
Did you talk to Officer Blueberry?
No. For all we know, he's behind this.
Well, it seems like it's up to us to find him.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
To the school!
You spend all day in this place?
Gross.
Anyway, you know there's a boy version of Camel Toe too, right?
When I was in elementary school, I read this book series called The Magic Attic Club about a group of girls who found a chest of costumes and a mirror in an attic. And when they put on a costume and looked in the mirror, they were transported to somewhere that the costume fit in. It's like a time travel book series thing. And no one's ever heard of it. I know it's real though, because I found somewhere online where I can buy some of the books for $4. So there. Here's what I remember. You got 4 girls in the club. Keisha, who is black. Heather, who is Jewish and possibly new to the neighborhood. Megan, who is blonde and either smart or athletic. And the other one, who is a redhead and either smart or athletic, the one that Megan isn't. Maybe Megan's the redhead? Anyway, every book, one of them would put on a costume and be transported to somewhere where they would help solve a problem that related to whatever issue they were having at home. Once, Keisha was like the daughter of a chief, and Heather went to the Spanish Inquisition. Like, she was feeling embarrassed by Passover, so she went to the Spanish Inquisition and learned to appreciate the freedom she had to celebrate her culture. Or something. They didn't even always go to a famous time period. Once the blonde girl was just a bridesmaid at a wedding. So yeah, that's what I have. That's what I remember. So if anyone read these or knows what the hell I'm talking about, let me know. Allison. The blonde bitch is named Allison. That's what it is. I solved it.
Thank you for calling customer service. You're speaking with Brindlefoot. You're speaking with Hannah. How can I help you? Question about your account? Yeah, sure. Hold on. Okay, let me just ask you a couple of security questions. Date of birth? Okay. Last 4 digits of your social? Okay. What was your favorite book as a child? Okay. Did you ever read the Warrior Cat series? No? Okay. Would you ever be interested in reading the Warrior Cat series? Ma'am, this is important information that we need to access your account. Answer this next question honestly. Would you ever be interested in receiving a one-of-a-kind artist recreation of yourself as a sexy feline? Hello? Hello? Thank you for holding. This is customer service. You're speaking with Hannah. Oh, your vacuum's clogged? You said it's clogged with cat hair? 2 cats? Oh, now that is just terrific. Now, what I'll need you to do is take those cats and bring them to the front door of your house. Sure, I guess you can bring the vacuum too. Okay, now, open the front door. Run, little kitty pets, run! Be free! Live out your prophecies! Hello?
He's dying. He won't be able to impart the scrolls of the 5 families. Jasper, get the healing stone.
On it!
Elder Mandrake, we don't have much time. We need to know the prophecy now.
The prophecy states that you, Sparrow Direcraft, will be the one to lead the revolutionaries into the new world. And you, Jasper Fillowthread, shall fight by her side as the greatest magic swordsman the realm has ever known.
What about me? What am I destined for?
You will struggle with your sexuality.
What?
Yes, back and forth, back and forth. It will be a never-ending struggle for you, being gay.
What about the revolution? What part do I play?
The revolution is not for you. However, you will come out to your parents in a scene of tears and rejection, and then get AIDS.
AIDS? Full blown, this is 2179.
Not for you. For you, it is 1986 in social climate, 2003 in overall aesthetic.
Okay, so you're saying I can't do anything here to help?
Yes, the gay thing takes up most of your time.
Yeah, it really doesn't. I'm fine with the gay thing, really.
No, that can't be right. Yes, see, it says here, you feel a deep shame and abandonment, which is what leads you down the path to hard drugs in the seedy underbelly of a picture-perfect suburbia.
That doesn't sound like me at all. I can fight, and I'm good with a crossbow and a rope. Just because I date other women doesn't mean I can't have a story outside of that in a place like this.
Yeah, she's got a rad haircut too.
You know what? I don't care what the prophecy states. I'm going to be by my friend's side, fighting the good fight until the end.
Perhaps the scrolls are wrong. Your tenacity inspires a great shifting of the future. You shall fight again alongside your friends in the revolution.
Yes!
Sparrow. This means we can finally be together.
Like 2 moist hands.
Whoa! Stop! That's strictly subtext for the more niche fans to read into.
What shall we do with the rest of this unfortunate day?
Perhaps we'll draw a wilted flower on a beige canvas, then look through the mysterious attic for the forbidden parcel.
Ooh, okay, hi. You can do this. Hi, Hans, Wilhelmina. I'm Roberta, the executor of your parents' estate, and there was a bit of an incident. And I have some bad news for you.
Whatever is it?
Well, your parents are dead. Deep breath. Your parents are dentists. They've made a major career change and are no longer spyglass collectors. They decided that teeth are really the eyes of the mouth.
But that cannot be.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. Your parents are dead. Your parents are Delta flyers. Sorry, horse-drawn carriages, but I want to get to where I'm going.
That doesn't sound right.
Because it's not. Look, the truth is your parents are Dent. Your parents are collectively Harvey Dent from Batman. Can you say crossover? No, that's a lie. there was a bit of a fire. Whoa! A bit of a firefly catching contest. Gotta catch them all. No, that's a lie. Your parents have perishables. So you better get in the trolley quick. Let's go, gang. No. Your parents have passive aggressive tendencies. They were like, go to the library. Deliver the news. If that's even possible for you. They were right. I can't do it.
Enough. We know what you're trying to say. We're suspiciously precocious. Our parents are dead. They've perished. Here meaning deceased, as in by fire.
Mother Adelaide and Father Claude expired, departed, no longer of this plane. Would you like the definition of plane?
I know what plain means. I did not switch your parents to Delta without learning a thing or two. But wow, someone does not need it all spelled out for them. You two are very perceptive.
So we'll be taken to our closest living relative then? Perhaps a second cousin once removed, or a third uncle reattached?
I think you guys are good. You seem fine. You'll make it. I am so impressed.
As a kid, my sister read Junie B. Jones books, and she had one that was called Junie B. Jones, parentheses, at last, end parentheses. And for a long time, I thought it was called Junie B. Jones, cat last, and then a typo.
When I first read Harry Potter, I was convinced that Hermione pronounced her name Hermione. And when I first watched the movie and they pronounced it right, I started crying.
When your English teacher says, be honest if you didn't actually read the book.
Bad library behavior was my MO, unfortunately.
I always thought you could just OD on Tylenol if you took more than 2 within 4 hours, but then I read The Outsiders, and now I know there's no risk at all.
My mom never gave me the sex talk. I figured it out by reading above my grade level.
When I was in 7th grade, I saw 70-pound, snotty-nosed Chase reading The Maze Runner, and I was like, a boy who reads? This is the love of my life. And then I read The Maze Runner, and that book is a shit show.
It was a weird thing to give someone in high school books as a gift.
I'll go to the store and I'll be like, this is a nice book, and I'll buy it and I'll put it on my bookshelf, and then I will never touch it ever again.
I'm sorry, Maddie. What the fuck did you just ask me? Did you honestly tell me that you're Team Gale? Team Gale? It's bad enough that I have to constantly keep you up to date on what's worth reading or not, so you don't embarrass yourself at silent reading time by bringing some baby book. But now you have the audacity to tell me, the president of the Pizza Fan Club, that your Team Gale? God, even saying his name makes me feel sick. Where's my goddamn snack? I need to hit a cheese stick. Now let me tell you a little something about your precious Gale. He is a war criminal. He makes bombs, Maddie. Fucking bombs. He blew up Prim. The bombs he created were designed to weaponize the instinct of human kindness, to target first responders. He turned Katniss's little sister into pink fucking mist. Oh, stop crying, Maddie. God, isn't he your hero? Yeah. What was that? It's not that serious? Of course it's serious. We are in goddamn middle school. And you like the guy who witnessed Katniss fight for her life in the arena and then just whined about PETA and what she did to survive. Like, she was the face of the rebellion and dealing with a corrupt government, and he expected her to make time to consider his obsession with her? I mean, damn it. Katniss says it herself. What I need to survive is not Gale's fire, kindled with rage and hatred. I have plenty of fire myself. What I need is the dandelion in the spring, The bright yellow that means rebirth instead of destruction. And only Peta can give me that. Yes, I have the passage fucking memorized, Maddie. This is an amateur hour.
Thanks for calling customer service. Speaking with... I told you not to call me here. Last week? I thought rent was due next week. Well, I don't have the money right now. If you must know, I've purchased 3 acres of property in the moor. Moor. M-O-O-R. No, it's not just a prairie. Moors are different. You must know it's the typical homestead of the swift and loyal Wind Clan. You know how I feel about the Wind Clan, that's why I have that tattoo on my foreleg. Wait, you can't just toss out my collector's edition of the Warrior Cats manga. It's just like when Tiger Star tried to take rule over all the clans in the forest. No, I am a fierce feline warrior who is capable of making my own decisions. You are a tyrant. Huh. Fine, kick me out, see if I care. But be warned. Fire alone can save our clan. No, I didn't actually mean that I was gonna burn your house down. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll get you the rent check. Love you too, Mom, bye.
My earliest memory of being read to was by my granny. My granny read me this book called The Great Escape. Good night, though.
Hop on Pop, The Snowy Day,
Mrs. Pigglewiggle,
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
If you give a mouse a cookie.
I read The Invention of Hugo Cabret, which is this big-ass book that's like half words and half pictures, and everyone in the 4th grade thought I was so smart for reading this book, and I'd just be like, yeah, I am. And then I'd turn the page and look at a nice, pretty picture.
So, I was hanging out with my best friend in the entire world, little Timmy, and all of a sudden his mom came outside and told me to stop talking to no one, and went on about how you're 13 years old, it's time to move on. And at first I didn't know what she was talking about. Did she just not see me? I mean, surely she doesn't think I'm nobody, right? So I asked little Timmy what was going on. And he said, Mom is right. You're just a figment of my imagination. I can't keep talking to you. And at first I thought he was joking. But then he went on about how, look at yourself. You're a talking, 7-foot-tall bunny rabbit. Of course you're not real. And then he stormed off into his house, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Thinking about the good times, like the one time we battled the 3-legged Campbell soup can man, or the time we went on the expedition to find the lost treasure of Old Man Puppet Hands. I guess I should have realized it's not realistic for someone like me, a talking anthropomorphic stuffed animal the size of Shaquille O'Neal, to exist outside of a child's imagination. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with myself. Maybe I should just...
So I noticed that when I checked the cafeteria, he wasn't there. And then when I checked the English classroom, he also wasn't there.
God, this is hard. I just can't imagine what his parents are going through.
I know! He's been missing for what, 36 hours? They must be worried sick.
Wait. Here. This is the best clue we've got. We've got Landon, Marissa, and Joseph all on record saying that this is Ryan's phone charger. And we found it in the library.
So the last place anyone saw Ryan was
the library.
This is huge. The last place anyone saw Ryan was the library. This could crack this case wide open.
Do you think it's time we called his parents?
Might be, now that we finally have some answers instead of just more questions.
Hello.
Hi, is this Brenda Byers?
Yes, it is. May I ask who's speaking?
Hi, this is Kennedy Mills. I go to school with your son, Ryan, at Meridian, and I have some news regarding his disappearance.
Disappearance?
Yes. Oh my God. She doesn't know he's missing. Mrs. Byers, I am so sorry to have to be the one to tell you this, but Ryan hasn't been at school the last 2 days. He didn't even go to lacrosse, and you know he would never miss lacrosse. But don't worry, Bethany and I have been investigating all day, and we found that...
Sorry, what? Ryan?
What?
Why do I have two girls from your old school on the phone telling me you're missing? Look, girls, I guess I have to say thank you for your work on finding my son, but he's not missing. We moved districts. He goes to Carmel now.
Oh.
Well, we have his phone charger.
Yes, so we could...
That's all right. Have a good one.
We found him.
It wasn't always like this, you know. I wasn't always the greatest archer in Eshna Ashari. It all started when me and my best, most handsomest friend, Griffin, were just kids, before all the adventures and prophecies and evil magical jewelry and stuff, before he was destined for greatness. We were playing in the Finea Forest and we came across this grotto, and somehow when we got there, I thought to myself, this is the lagoon of Loth Leonore. Which was pretty crazy because I had never thought of anything before. Anyways, the lagoon spit out this prophecy, which is basically like this fun little poem about how great Griffin is destined to be someday. It's mostly about how he's destined to be the last dragon rider and unite the clans of Venzis. But it doesn't even mention his beautiful, sparkling blue eyes that shine like deep pools of glass. Anyways, then we assembled the greatest friend group of all time, the Fellowship of Knights, and the rest is history. I mean, I'm not just Lance Anderson anymore. I'm Golden Shot, Lance Golden Shot, the greatest archer in Eshna Ashari. Now me and my friend group just ride around on the backs of dragons battling orcs and stuff, which is pretty sweet. I wasn't sure what I was really supposed to be doing at first, but then Griffin gave me this kick-ass pamphlet all about how to be a good ranger. See, it has everything we need about, like, all the places we go and maps and diagrams and stuff, and then detailed backstories of everyone we've ever met, which is pretty interesting. Griffin says I'm a born ranger, which is pretty cool. I let him do all the thinking and talking. I just pretty much am there to look pretty, shoot my little arrows, and say my little speeches. Also, sometimes we'll go somewhere, and everyone will be like, what is this place? And I'll just kind of know. Like this one time, we woke up and it was really foggy outside. And so I said, the mists of Carmen and Astra only come this far south when blood has been spilt in the Finea Forest on the stone table of Mirrodin. And then Griffin took my face in his hands like this, and he looked deeply into my eyes, and his soft pink lips parted. And then he clapped his hand on my ear like that, and he said, excellent work, brother. Our enemies know we draw nearer. Onward! It was so awesome. This other time we were out drinking with our friend Sitgrel the Grim, who's a dwarf, and he said he could outdrink me, but I don't really get drunk because I'm an elf. So it was pretty fun watching him stumble all over himself, though. Griffin laughed and laughed and even gave me a very brotherly kiss outside the tavern after everyone else got home. I wanted to tell him that I had butterflies in my tummy, but what I ended up saying was, we should rest, for the armies of Sugagoth will be here before the bells of Mirrodin herald their arrival. I just get so tongue-tied around him sometimes. Anyways, I should probably start thinking about how I'm going to get out of here. I want to save my good friend the trouble of rescuing me, even though that sounds pretty good right now. Aha! My slender archer's ankles come in handy again. I'd rescue you too, my friend, but I have to help my brother in arms. I wish you good fortune in this war and the next.
The Scholastic Book Fair is great at pointing out single-parent households.
Books by people of color, or as I like to call them, all the shitty presents my dad gave me for Kwanzaa in an effort to connect.
I know why the caged bird sings. You think I don't know why the caged bird sings? I know why the caged bird sings. Stop telling people I don't know why the caged bird sings.
I once read a book called Shanghai Girls, which was about two girls moving from Shanghai to America in 1937. I find that it really helped me in my move from Harristown, Illinois to Chicago, Illinois.
One of the big categories of books that I really loved when I was little was called like Historical Girl Has a Horribly Sad Life. Like, take for instance, The Chinese Cinderella. It's about this girl that basically becomes a slave to her family. Or Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, which is about this girl whose family basically becomes slaves to a bunch of sharecroppers in the Jim Crow South. Or Esperanza Rising, which is about this girl whose family basically becomes slaves to a bunch of farms in California in the 30s. Or any number of Dear America books about girls who were slaves in the actual antebellum South. Why were we marketing so many slave-themed books to young girls? Oh, wow! The new Historical American Girl doll! Ooh, this is the 2020s doll. Oh, she comes with a mask and a laptop. And when you open it, there's her Zoom class. Oh, and her fun animal sidekick plushie is her recently deceased childhood dog. Oh, and it comes with some books about her. Good. It's mostly pictures. Thank God. Meet Kaylee. 2020 was going to be her year until...
What do you mean? School's just done? But all the stuff I've worked up to, how can I be the student body president, the most popular girl in school, be on the varsity basketball team, and be the leader of the Gay Straight Alliance from my room? What about it being 420 for the entire month of April?
Kaylee learns a lesson. She discovers that not having to get up early for school isn't all it's cracked up to be.
My entire life, I've been told too much screen time is bad for your health. And now they expect me to stare at a screen for 8 hours a day. I've made all the banana bread I can to comfort me. This is the third time today Sophia hasn't answered my FaceTime call. And I only bought this Nintendo Switch to play Animal Crossing, a life simulator where you play with furries. And I think it's starting to awaken something within me.
Kaylee's surprise. She discovers the pain of others. Can she fix the wounds and make things right?
Mom, there's a protest at the park. I'm leaving to fight injustice. I know that there's a lot of people here, but I have something to say. That this injustice is wrong and must be immediately stopped. In fact, I know your pain. A few generations ago, there was this girl, Molly, who discovered that poor people exist. And then there was this other girl, Kit, who saved a soup kitchen and had to congregate with disenfranchised weirdos. They taught me that all other people's systemic issues are my issues. Just like you, I am oppressed.
No, this wasn't the cops. It was one of the protesters. I don't know. They said something about, like, checking my privilege.
Now, moving on from the closet cases, we have the most exclusive clique at Historical Fiction High School, the March Sisters, led by Jo March, the second oldest. These girls are insane. They literally won't talk to you unless you're related to them.
Oh, so then is that their brother?
No, that's Lori.
He's cute.
Yeah, I guess, but... Okay, so I guess last year he was like obsessed with Jo and she rejected him. And then now I guess he's dating her little sister who's in the literal 6th grade.
Ew.
Plus, I heard a little rumor that Jo is getting down with her 40-year-old English professor.
No, I don't buy it. I think she's gay too. But anyways, definitely don't tell Jo any of your secrets because she'll write them all down and publish them in her weird little newspaper stories.
Oh, she wants to be a writer?
That's the understatement of the year. It's always my novel this and my novel that. Just say book. She is so obsessed. She even makes everyone come see these plays that she and her sisters put on, and they're always like weirdly religious.
She's such a bossy little brat. It's no wonder the dad is never around.
Huh, okay. I guess I know who I won't be hanging out with then. What's your deal?
Me? I'm Mary Lennox. Duh. My parents are really rich. At least they were. I moved here from India after they died from cholera. I probably won't be sticking around long though. I'm thinking of taking up gardening.
Charlotte was the least important character in Charlotte's Web.
Sarah Dessen wrote books for girls who loved to read but hated learning new things.
We make fun of John Green for writing Manic Pixie Dream Girls, but we're forgetting about the blueprint. Stargirl.
I feel about deep dish pizza like Edmund from Narnia feels about Turkish delight. I hear all these great things, I sell out my family for it, but in the end, kind of disappointing.
4 kids walk into a bar, and the bartender goes, "Hey, you're all just a bunch of kids." And the kids go, "What the fuck, Lucy? I thought this was a coat closet."
The Outsiders made weird names cool. My favorite characters were Ponyboy, Wingspan, and Gangrene.
The sexual tension between me and the more expensive hardcover books at Barnes & Noble.
What did Nancy draw?
Welcome to middle school, twerp. I'm gonna be your worst nightmare.
I am not scared of you. I've studied the biggest bully of them all, Roderick Heffley. I have read all of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books 3 times, and I am working on my 4th. I know all of your tactics. You can't hurt me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I've read the book 6 times. For the next 3 years, your new nickname is Loaded Diaper.
Hey, Maddie. What? Twilight. What the fuck is Twilight?
And then this is my room. Check out my record collection. Last count I had 263?
Oh.
Yeah, my taste is eclectic for sure. And records are the only way to listen to music, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Hey, I know you introduced yourself earlier, but it's kind of muffled with the mask and everything. What'd you say your name was again?
Oh, it's Jake. Jake White.
Welcome to hell, Jake White. We never have new people move into this neighborhood. Color me intrigued. So, what brings you to this godforsaken small town no one's ever heard of? I can't imagine why anyone would go through the trouble of moving during a pandemic just to come to Brooklyn. It's so stifling. I personally can't wait to graduate and get the hell out. I'm gonna go somewhere real. LA. City of dreams, you know?
Yeah, that's dreams. Really cool. Did you still want to
You
know
want to know
why-
my dream? I'm gonna be a pilot, Jake White. One day I'm getting off this earth with its rules and its lies and its Zoom school. I'm gonna soar. That is, if my heavy heart will let me.
That's really beautiful.
I also write poetry, Jake White.
You don't have to keep saying my full name, you know. Jake is fine.
I'm a big believer in equality among names. Societal rules are so unfair to last names. They're seriously underused colloquially. Or maybe I'm just drawn to them because I don't have one.
Wait, you don't have a last name?
Nope. Just Mal. Short for malevolent. My parents have a twisted sense of humor they felt the need to enact on their kids. My brother Ben got the better deal than I did on the name front.
Ben.
Benevolent? It's whatever.
I like your mask.
Thanks.
Did you draw your nose ring on that?
Yep. It's honestly been the worst part of this whole having to wear a mask thing is no one even knows I have my nose pierced under here. Speaking of masks, do you mind if I take it off to smoke? I've been smoking hand-rolled cigarettes since I was a kid because I'm 1/16 French, and I haven't had one in like 10 minutes.
You know, I'd really rather didn't with the global pandemic and everything.
I know. Isn't it so thrilling? My whole life I've wanted to live through something. And now we are. We are right now in this moment. In the history books, Jake White. It's poetic, isn't it?
Totally. I mean, a lot of people have died, which is bad, but I get where you're coming from. Do you have a boyfriend?
Yeah. For now, anyway.
Oh.
I'm feeling like things may not work out between us because of drama I entirely created myself. It's like he's the quarterback, but we can't even do sports anymore. And yeah, sure, he also has a successful nonprofit and is a cancer survivor, but he's just so insignificant. So small town. He's just not someone I would ever want to quarantine with, you know? But I'm no angel either. I'm messed up, Jake White. He probably wouldn't want to quarantine with me either. Who would?
I would. It wouldn't be so bad.
Really?
Really.
Really?
Really.
Really?
Really.
Okay, jeez.
Oh, I should probably get going.
Time is just a construct man invented to control us. But yeah, you should go.
No one else out there is going to be as interesting as you are. The other neighbors, I mean. But I'll still see you again, right? If not in person, then virtually in class.
It amazes me that you find that shit even remotely interesting. Class, going or not going, school, getting A's or getting D's. What about life? Here's a tip, Jake White. Go out and look for some life. Stay-at-home orders be damned.
Oh, I don't know.
In the meantime, here. To remember me by.
Let me give you this. To remember me by.
How timely. You know, I'm glad you moved here, Jake White. Maybe this pandemic will be worth it if it let us meet.
Holy shit. I just met my Ramona Flowers.
I read bedtime stories to my brother. One book in particular, called There's a Monster at the End of This Book, featured my acting skills prominently. That all ended when my mom figured out that's why he was waking up in the middle of the night screaming about monsters.
It was so scary. It made me so scared. I was known for being a reader when I was a kid, and I had read almost every book. And then my friend made fun of me because I hadn't read her favorite book, Holes. And so out of spite, I told her that I would never read it. But now I'm an adult, and I'm older, and I still haven't read it. Fuck you, Clara.
Yeah, no big deal or anything, but I'm head into the teen zone of the library.
You don't know power unless you've commandeered the big chair in the children's section of Barnes & Noble.
My favorite young adult coming-of-age novel? Probably The Sims. Except it sucks because the main character always dies in the end. By my own hand.
But no one knows what Storm Chases is. It's only me, and so I'm convinced I made it up.
Remember that whole category of books that can only be classified as messy bitches? Like Junie B. Jones, Amelia Bedelia, Judy Moody, Pippi Longstocking? I loved those messy bitches. They were like my blueprint.
Once I made my sister write me Harry Potter trivia questions because all the quizzes online were too easy. And I say once like it was a long time ago, but that was January.
If reading is so important, why do they bribe us with pizza instead of money?